Hi folks, it's Gary here with your Blue Nose Bulletin for Wednesday, the 31st of July 2024, and it's a very warm welcome back to you all here on the 4th Official's YouTube channel, back after being on holiday for a couple of weeks, so a big thank you to Mitch for holding the fort. The big news today is regarding the potential arrival of a brand new defender who has arrived in the UK for a medical. We've got all the latest regarding what's happening with regards to Hampden, all the fallout from John Bennett's address to the supporters, and Connor Goldson arriving as he's confirmed with Aris. But the big news is regarding the potential signing of 20s defender, the captain, Robin Proper. Now, this has moved quite quickly, and it's been reported this afternoon by Christopher Jack for the Rangers Review and in multiple other places that Robin Proper, the 30-year-old defender who is currently captain of FC20, has arrived in London to complete a medical with Rangers. Now, Robin Proper very much looks to be the heir apparent to Connor Goldson, who sealed his switch to Aris earlier on this season. And we've spoken a lot here on the show regarding Rangers' requirement for a bit of experience, someone that's been around the block a little bit. And certainly Proper seems to kind of fit the bill with regards to that. A player who very much will require what Rangers are needing at the back in terms of someone that is an influence in terms of being able to manage the defence, being someone who can be a full kind of communicator, and as someone who very much looks as if he is the man that Rangers have looked to try and sort out. Now, at the moment, no current transfer fee has been agreed, but Proper currently has a contract with 20 until 2027. Don't imagine will be a cheap deal to get done to bring him in, but he very much looks to be the man, and as long as that medical goes well, could well be completed before the end of the week to allow Robin Proper to be involved at the weekend for the season opener against Hearts. Now, currently Rangers have got John Souttar and Ben Davies, who appear to be the first choice centre-back partnership, having played out in Germany at the weekend in that 4-4 draw with Union Berlin, but also the experience of Leon Balogun in there, and youngsters Clinton Inshallah, who hasn't seen too much time yet in pre-season, and of course Leon King also available there as well. So it's an area of the park that Rangers definitely do need some reinforcements in, and certainly it looks as if Proper is the man, and we'll watch out with interest over the coming hours and days, but very much looks as if Proper will be coming in and being the new Rangers centre-back to replace the outgoing Connor Goldson. When we speak about the outgoing Rangers vice-captain, now he has gone out to join Aris after 6 years at Ibrox, and current Rangers captain James Tavernier had posted on his social media that he hailed him as a brother, a player, a role model, and a leader. And he cited his former teammates' leadership and professionalism as he reflected back on so many special memories together. On his post on Instagram, he stated that it has been an absolute pleasure sharing the pitch and dressing room with you for the past 6 years. Your leadership and professionalism every day was an example to us all. We shared so many special memories together that will last forever. You gave it everything, and you're going to be missed. I wish you nothing but the best in the future for you and for your family. And Rangers also released a statement confirming, obviously, the move to Aris Limassol for an undisclosed fee. The Rangers statement on their social media stating that Goldson's association with the Light Blues spanned 6 years since he made the move north of the border from Brighton and Hove Albion, making over 300 appearances and completing the collection of domestic honours, as well as playing in the Europa League final. Goldson's Rangers journey began under Steven Gerrard in 2018, becoming one of the Englishman's first signings in charge and immediately establishing himself as a permanent fixture in the side. Goldson quickly became the man for the big occasion, popping up with a crucial goal to help Rangers on the way to the UEFA group stage qualification before producing a stoppage time header to down Kilmarnock at Rugby Park on the opening day of the 2019-20 campaign. His double and a 2-0 victory at Parkhead in October set Rangers on their way, with Goldson playing every minute across a 56-game campaign in 2021, which saw obviously Rangers ending their 10-year wait for a league title in that unforgettable Invincible campaign. And he then featured another 60 times the following season as Rangers made the run to the Europa League final. Success in the League Cup followed last December for Goldson in what would prove to be his final campaign at the club, and everyone at Rangers wishes him the very best of luck in his future endeavours. So, yeah, going to be very different in terms of the makeup of the Rangers defence for next season. Still waiting on news regarding James Tavernier's Rangers future, but we are all still very much expecting that James Tavernier's time with the club will be coming to an end now. Probably not going to happen before the league opener at Tynecastle on Saturday, but it would be a massive surprise for me if Tavernier remains at Rangers come the end of the transfer window. Continued links with Trabzonspor, also Besiktas and Saudi Arabia. So, yeah, I do expect him to move on. The current injury to Dujon Sterling potentially just kind of keeping that deal from being completed at the moment. Rangers certainly won't want to be going into some important games in terms of the beginning of the league and the European qualifier, which looks as if it's going to be against Dynamo Kiev without any sort of kind of first choice right back option. So yeah, we'll watch with interest over the coming weeks. A bit more information regarding the ticketing situation at Hampden was released today via the Rangers SLO on Twitter. It really stated that Rangers ticket office is continuing at present to work through all the logistics in terms of sorting out where supporters will be seated in the National Stadium for the opening home league game of the season, which will be played on the 10th of August. But supporters will receive an email containing a QR code, which they will be able to use for access to the stadium. And they issued a further reminder that the continuous credit scheme is not in operation whilst Rangers are remaining at the National Stadium. So ticketing information regarding that European qualifier, whether it is Dynamo Kiev or Partizan Belgrade, will be released in due course. So the second leg of that tie to be completed later on this week. Kiev, obviously, with a healthy advantage, having won that first leg 6-2. Now, we're going to end things on this bulletin just by talking a little bit about the communication that came out from Rangers chairman John Bennett, and there'll be full coverage of this on our Patreon site with a podcast titled Gold Standard, which will refer back to John Bennett's address to the Rangers support, as well as looking back on some of the highlights of Connor Goldson's Rangers career. That will be with you on our Patreon channel over the course of the next kind of 24 hours or so. But some of the highlights from that John Bennett address was stated that the first of 3 shipments of steel has arrived in Glasgow, but 2 vessels are not due to dock until the 2nd and 3rd weeks of August, respectively. And any further delays to that process would mean an even further extended period away from Ibrox this term. Very aware of not giving any specifics to Rangers support in terms of when we can expect to be back at Ibrox, but he is aspiring for that to be at the end of September following the international break. Looking at it, I think that's going to be a bit problematic, and I think it's much more likely to possibly go into October before we come back. But those home league games against Motherwell and Ross County, the Premier Sports Cup game against St Johnstone on the 17th, and that European qualifier against Kiev. Certainly, all in August will all be played at the National Stadium. And John Bennett thanked the Scottish FA and the SPFL for their assistance in assuring that Rangers can take to the field at the National Stadium. Also in that address, John Bennett spoke about the transfer budget and the amount of money that's been spent so far under Philippe Clement in the region of around about 11 million in terms of liabilities. Now, that includes money that's still to be paid out, likes of Oscar Cortez's fee following his loan spell again for this season will be included within that. Obviously, money paid to Michelin for Mohamed Diamande, and obviously the money that's been spent on some of the summer acquisitions so far, the likes of Hiefde, Clinton and Charles came in on a free transfer. We've also got Connor Barron, who there was still a tribunal to be paid to Aberdeen on that one as well. But Rangers certainly making strides to get more players out the door. We've obviously banked the 2.5 million for Sam Lammers, going the other way to FC20, and still waiting on confirmation regarding the futures of both Yanis Hadji and Todd Cantwell. And as soon as we get some information on that, we'll certainly bring it to you here on the Fourth Official channel. Stay tuned to us on both here, the YouTube channel, and on Patreon. Loads coming up for you across the month of August as we get back to proper football, full pre and post-match coverage of every match this season, plus all the usual features and analysis, signing news, and everything you expect for us here with the squad here at the Fourth Official. Big thank you to you all for watching this one. I'll speak to you next time. Goodbye.